Here is 30 accurate crypto price predictions to help you succeed in your goals to be financially free in 2025. Now, this is going to be useful throughout the whole bull and bear market right up to, of course, 2025. Now, I want to make one thing clear before I give you guys a spreadsheet, which, by the way, will be completely free down below, that this is particularly important to reanalyze every 6 to 12 months, especially as we get closer to the top of the bull run, because the way I've built these predictions is off information that isn't just cherry-picked and I've kind of gone, okay, A plus B must equal C. It's actually math involved with this, okay, that's actually out there, which is super helpful because, again, it can be applied by anyone at any time. So with that being said, let me now take you through this sheet. Now, this is taking me so many hours. If you guys saw the video I posted last night, I took it down. I wanted to re-upload it. There was a lot of questions and concerns with that video. My goal with this channel is to make sure that crypto is nice, easy to understand for the average investor. So if you guys tell me you don't understand, I'm here to make sure that you do, okay? So I took it back and I decided to redo things here, okay? And one thing that I did was added a few different levels. That previous level, a video rather focused on one level, and that was the bare bottom minimum level these altcoins could go to. Many people thought, hey, hang on a second, this is his predictions for, you know, these projects at the very top of the market, like I had, for example, Ethereum at like a 3x, or, you know, I had Algorand at like a 5x. That's obviously not going to happen, okay? So that is the minimums, but I wanted to kind of touch on what I've got here, okay? Now, do not be afraid. This sheet is kind of daunting. It is scary. The purpose is just to give you guys the reasoning as to how we got to these numbers so you can learn, okay? I want to actually go ahead and show you the price predictions in a second, and all we'll look at is these two columns here. So it's nice and easy for everyone. But for those who are interested in actually learning something in this video, of course, we have the altcoins on the left-hand side. We have 30 altcoins, okay? Some of the best ones in the space. And the reason why I've picked these is because the ones I like and I think will do really well. And therefore, I've added them to a list that you guys can come in and check. I'm not going to talk about shitcoins on here, right? So we have this supply. Now, whenever you're trying to find anything in crypto, price is equal to dominance or market cap, right? So we'll pretty much use market cap in this case, divided by the supply at a given time, okay? And that, of course, equals price, okay? And so in this case over here, what we're going to do first is find something that can be found pretty much on almost every single cryptocurrency quite easily. That's the supply. How many tokens will be found at a period of time? And in this case, we're looking specifically into Q4 of 2025. Now, most of these I managed to go through and find what they were in about November. But of course, if not, anywhere between like September to December 2025 is roughly speaking how many of these tokens will be in circulation. I've included everything in this case, including inflation, except for the one variable no one can account for, which is the burn rate, okay, based on usage. Now, what we've got here also is the market dominance. This is the primary factor that we'll be using to find these predictions. And I've also got, as you can see here, 4 more other market dominance-esque type sort of variables, right? So we've got the market dominance last bear market. So it's important that we look at what it is right now versus back then. You'll see, for example, Algorand, market dominance is about 0.07%. And actually back, 3-4 years ago, it was 0.06%. So it hasn't moved too much. We have the market dominance in the 2021 bull run at the very, very top. Now, what I've essentially done here is done the dominance growth from the bear to the bull. So last bear market here to the bull market, how much should it grow? And I've also done over here, it's a new column, dominance growth from now, which is over here, to the bull run, essentially to see whether these two are close, like we are with Algorand, and essentially if it can pretty much emulate that depending on how close it is. Now, I've used these variables, it might not make much sense to you, that's okay. I've used these variables to identify roughly a middle ground to like a minimum price prediction level, okay? Because I want to take your attention to the red column, which is the minimum dominance, or at least minimum market cap, rather, I see these projects going to, okay? The red means obviously the lowest. And what does that mean? Well, market dominance is essentially when you've got a global market cap, for example, over here, right? We've got the major crypto assets by percentage of total market capitalization. So in this case, the big red bar, big orange bar rather, is Bitcoin. Now, you see Bitcoin over here is about 48%. That means if the global market cap is $1 trillion, which is roughly what it is right now, Bitcoin would be about 480 billion, right? It's a percentage of the total market cap. And so when we look at market dominance, we can use this as a rough indication that this project, if that dominance percentage increases, is then beating the crypto market. Does that make sense? For example, in this column right here, I've actually gone back and said, hey, in this situation, the global market cap is going to be 3 trillion, which for those who remember was the global market cap at the top of the last bull run. And I'm going to say that each of these projects will maintain their current market share. What that currently means is, again, 3 trillion divided by the current market dominance they hold right now in September of 2023, which effectively is just me saying, hey, if we went to $3 trillion and, depending on what the market share is for each project right now, it was equally divided amongst all, cryptocurrencies. So let's say we have an extra $2 trillion come in the market, every single project equally goes up in the exact correct ratio. That is what that's saying. And as you can see in the example here of Algorand, if the current market cap is whatever it is, like, 800 million, this would mean that the current market cap, or at least market cap in 2025 at the lowest point, would be 2.1 billion, okay? This is just like the bare absolute bones minimum. And then from there, if you guys remember, to find the supply, it's simple. We get the 2.19 billion market cap and then divide the supply, the 8.5. So that would look like the 2.15 whatever billion market cap divided by then the supply, which is going to be roughly speaking 8.15 billion. And that would give you the price of, whatever that would actually be. I'm not going to work that out, right? But if we come across here, that's one variable. We've also got the expected dominance growth. This is what I've used based on these two figures here. Essentially, roughly speaking, what the dominance growth was in the last cycle, plus from where it is right now in comparison to where it was in the last cycle's bear market to where it could go again if it met the same sort of explosion. Now, when a project grows its market dominance, we're not talking about it simply growing its market cap here. As you saw before, it can continue at the same market dominance and the global market cap increases. It just means that it's holding its feet in the ground. It's saying, hey, I am worth 1% of this market, okay? But when it grows its dominance percentage, that means that it's outperforming the market. More people are choosing to buy that project, which if you guys watch my channel, I always talk about these things come from, and it does happen with every project. They do come from things like the project itself being quite mimetic, being quite, wow, this is a cool project. I want to buy it because it sounds really cool. Also news and upgrades, right? Roadmap events, announcements that can be on a whim. We can't really prepare for those sort of things, of course. And also narratives, right? We have layer 1 narrative, we have Oracle season, we have so many different DeFi, so on and so forth. So those, keep the rest of the market down and push those narratives up at a given time. And that's when we find these explosive potentials, because for those who don't know, the whole market doesn't just come up all at once and have a blow off top, okay? Nevertheless, I digress. So allow me to briefly interrupt this program with an announcement from today's video sponsor, which is Wall Street Memes. Guys, Wall Street Memes has only 3 days left until its ICO phase is completed, and then 4 days until it's listed on a tier 1 exchange. As you can see from the website here, there's not a lot of time left. You guys can actually participate in the ICO if you were interested by clicking the link in the description. That'll bring you up to this page here, plus you'll be supporting the channel. Now, what's really interesting about this is, again, a tier 1 exchange. We're talking about a name all of us know. We don't actually know what it exactly will be just yet. That's the really exciting part. Now, the maths I've done on this coin from the previous video, it'll launch at, give or take, around $60 million. Now, they do plan, as you can see from the roadmap down here, to aim for $1 billion market capitalization. And with this actual project being around for many, many years and actually already having its own very successful NFT collection with over 180 ETH, 539,000 followers over on Instagram, and 277,000 followers on Twitter. Suffice to say, there is a little bit of demand behind this project. Now, if you did want to enter again, you can actually participate in a limited time airdrop. There is 70 days left. 5 people will be getting $10,000 each, and all you have to do is go ahead and follow the links on the website. Thank you to WSM for sponsoring today's video. And again, guys, if you did want to participate, do it at your own discretion and use the link down below. With that being said, let's get back into it. I've gone through here and there's some important, very much time-consuming maths and solutions to things, and I've figured out what's roughly a middle ground. Okay, and so I've gone some of these projects like a 6x, some of them are 5x, some of them are 4x. Some of them, like over here with Ethereum, are 1.5x in the minimum, okay? And also down here with XRP, all right, 3x. So quite low, but that's for a reason, okay? That's for a dead reason, and I'll tell you why in a second here. So nevertheless, what I've done with that is then, okay, so I've pretty much doubled the current market, well, whatever it might be, how many multiples it might be, right? So in Algorand's case, 5x. So I have 5x the current market dominance. I'll move the chart over here so you can see the current market dominance of 0.07%. That's giving me a percentage of 0.29%, which then we take from a, I think, middle ground where the global market cap can go in 2025, which is 7 trillion. What we're saying here is the market cap now for globally has gone up 7 trillion. And these projects, depending on what I've, scored them at in terms of what I think they could possibly go based on their previous growth, hopefully you're following. I know this can be quite mentally draining. Please rewind if you don't understand. And then I've used that to find out the, of course, market cap. And then same rules apply, simple thing, right? We go market cap divided by supply. And of course, supply will stay the same because we're talking about one, period of time here. And then on the very best side, the green side of things, quite simple. I've just 10x the current market dominance in the best case. Like I'm talking the best case possible for these projects. That, don't get me wrong, like I think some of these projects will most definitely more than 10x their market dominance from right now. Let's say Algorand, for example, prime example of this. Let's say the SEC lawsuits are over and Algorand is quite pressed down. As you can see, it's very close to what it was at the last bear markets, sort of average market dominance percent, but it could most definitely go up more because there's more people that know about Algorand now this time around, right? And more money in the space. But the way I've kind of suppressed that is by having a, sort of crazy high market cap, right, of $10 trillion. So it works kind of hand in hand, right? More market cap, more dosh essentially. And long story short, to find the price prediction on each of these projects, let me just scroll all the way over here. What I've done is get the average of these three areas, 3 trillion market cap, 7 trillion and 10 trillion. Found the average of those and then divided that by the supply. So we're talking averages now. I know it's gonna be quite skewed because this one on the very end here will definitely pump it up. I get it, right? But roughly then what I've done here is then worked out the price right now divided by the old price equals how many multiples we could actually make from the current price. And as you can see, if I scroll all the way across to the side here, I had one comment on the last video I deleted last night. Some guy was like, hey man, why don't you just go through all the projects and show us like what we're actually looking for? I said, mate, the reason why is because I'm sure you guys want to actually go through this in your own time, download it, absorb it, figure out how it happened, and then go and apply it. Now, I want to say again, I can most definitely go through this sheet right now and talk to you guys all day about, hey, Algorand's going to 40x. Where is Kadena? Kadena's going to 43x. Okay, well, so Near Protocol's going to 31x. But where's the fun in that, right? You guys are going to be here to learn specifically. So I'm not going to bother myself, or bother you rather, with going through that individually. If you guys want to, take a screenshot now. Otherwise, please download the sheet. It is free. Now, for everyone who is in the Discord, please, if you're on the Discord already, you need to get down there because I am coming out with a much more comprehensive version of this. Because realistically speaking here, this needs to again be done simultaneously, like over and over and over again, because dominance has changed, there's more demand in projects. But also realistically, because we're using market cap here, there's a few different levels we can use, right? There really should be multiple minimum levels, multiple average levels, and multiple maximum levels, which then you can find the average of themselves and then begin to do things like, plotting your entry levels, which is what you should do with this, or plotting your exit strategies, right? And again, this is continually changing. All the price predictions good for is getting a rough idea of when you should roughly be selling your tokens and what you should look at, as an average buy-in level. Price predictions inherently are useless. No one can actually predict the price of any token ever, okay? It's impossible. And so if we come down here a little bit, guys, I've got my disclosure. This does not account for the various other variables I use in my typical predictions. If you see my other videos where I talk about quant prediction, HBAR prediction, I'm collaborating a lot more information than just market dominance. I do use market dominance in, again, pairs here. So 2 for low, 2 for medium, 2 for high, and then find the average. But I do go ahead and use more variables, okay? So news and announcements, roadmap upgrades, social engagements, network use, TVL, feature demand for the product itself, Web 2 or Web 3, where is it penetrating, right? Memetics, narratives, and yeah, again, market penetration, right? So all of these variables go into my typical predictions. What you see above should be a great baseline. This is more than you'll find with most other places. So one thing I do want to mention here is like how, again, I would actually go ahead and use this. Now, what I would do is find the minimum level, okay? So the minimum price and work down from that. Now, you guys can do it if you want. This chart would be disgustingly, all over the place if I decided to give you price predictions for each level. It's simple. Go to the sheet down below, simple 2.19 billion in the example of Algorand, divided by its supply, which is 8.5 billion, and you'll get a price. That price should be the benchmark price you work down from to figure out, hey, I am someone who wants a 20x minimum on all my projects, but I love Algorand. Well, Algorand at this rough level here will only get me about a 5x. So do I actually want to invest in Algorand? Well, I still do. So I'm going to wait for this price level, which is a 10x down from the minimum price, to begin buying. If it doesn't hit that, I'm not going to buy it. On the contrary, maybe it's way too far off for you, and chances are if that actually played out, that situation was real, that would be way, way, way too low, okay? Way too much high expectations. So you would find a new project, okay? Or again, use Algorand for a safer play. It all depends on your ROI expectations and essentially how much risk you're willing to take in the projects you're buying to begin with, okay? So guys, join the Discord because I have got, again, a much more comprehensive sheet coming out here, laid out really beautifully on my website. It's very good, well, at least going to be interactive at least, and it will be interactive. So if you go down below, in the next coming months, I am going to be giving a huge discount to all my Discord members. So if you're not, you may as well be. It's going to be for a limited time. So please, I'd love to see you guys. I know we have a great community growing. Nevertheless, it would just be good to communicate one-on-one with all of you as well. So with that being said, guys, use the sheet. I'm here for you. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Take care. Bye.